Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 1749 to 1832, was one of the most prominent figures in German literature and a towering intellectual force in European culture. His life and work transcend the boundaries of any single discipline. Goethe was not only a poet, playwright, and novelist, but also a philosopher, scientist, and statesman. His contributions to German Romanticism, his scientific studies, and his engagement in public life have left a lasting impact on a wide range of fields. Early life and education, 1749 to 1771. Goethe was born on August 28, 1749, in Frankfurt am Main, a prosperous city in the Holy Roman Empire. His father, Johann Caspar Goethe, was a lawyer and a civil servant who ensured his children received an excellent education, and his mother, Katharina Elisabeth Textor, was from a wealthy and influential family. The family's affluence allowed young Johann access to private tutors and an array of books, which sparked his intellectual curiosity early on. From a young age, Goethe exhibited a keen interest in literature, art, and languages. He began writing poetry as a child and showed a marked talent for storytelling. He was well versed in the works of the classical authors like Homer and Virgil, which would influence his later work. At the age of 16, in 1765, Goethe went to Leipzig to study law, as expected by his father. However, he was more captivated by the city's cultural life, particularly its art and theater scene. It was during this period that he began writing poetry and plays, absorbing the influences of contemporary poets and dramatists like Friedrich Gottlieb Klopstock and Gotthold Ephraim Lessing. While in Leipzig, Goethe fell ill, and during his recovery, he began studying alchemy, medicine, and philosophy, early signs of his later wide-ranging intellectual interests. In 1770, Goethe moved to Strasbourg to complete his legal studies, and it was here that his life took a decisive turn. Strasbourg and the birth of Romanticism, 1771 to 1775. Strasbourg was a pivotal period in Goethe's life. It was there that he met Johann Gottfried Herder, a philosopher and critic whose ideas about literature, language, and culture deeply influenced Goethe. Herder introduced Goethe to the ideas of the Sturm und Drang, storm and stress, movement, which rejected the rigid formalism of the Enlightenment in favor of emotional intensity and individuality. This movement emphasized the importance of feeling, nature, and the sublime, all of which would become central to Goethe's work. Goethe's breakthrough as a writer came in 1774 with the publication of Die Leiden des jungen Werthers, The Sorrows of Young Werther, a novel that took Europe by storm. Written in epistolary form, the novel tells the story of a young man who falls hopelessly in love and in despair takes his own life. The novel's intense emotionalism and its critique of societal norms resonated with the sentiments of the age, making Goethe an overnight literary sensation. Werther became one of the key works of the Sturm und Drang movement and laid the groundwork for German Romanticism. Goethe's fame following the success of Werther was immense, but he struggled with the newfound celebrity, feeling it overshadowed the more serious literary work he hoped to achieve. Nonetheless, during this period, Goethe continued to explore themes of individualism, the beauty of nature, and the complexity of human emotions, establishing himself as a major literary figure in Europe. Weimar and the Classical Period, 1775 to 1805. In 1775, Goethe was invited by Duke Karl August to Weimar, where he would spend most of the rest of his life. Weimar was a small, quiet town, but under the Duke's patronage, it became a center of intellectual and cultural life. Goethe took up various government positions in Weimar, serving as a minister and later as the director of the court theater, which gave him the opportunity to explore his interests in drama and public life. In Weimar, Goethe formed deep friendships with other intellectuals, most notably Friedrich Schiller, whose ideas on art, aesthetics, and human freedom influenced Goethe's later work. Together, they led the Weimar Classicism movement, a cultural and intellectual revival that sought to harmonize the emotionalism of Romanticism with the order and balance of classical antiquity. During this period, Goethe wrote some of his most important works, including Iphigenie auf Tauris, 1787, Egmont, 1788, and Torquato Tasso, 1790. His works from this period reflect his deepening philosophical concerns, particularly with the tension between passion and reason. individual freedom and societal constraint. One of the most significant achievements of Goethe's Weimar years was his completion of the first part of Faust, published in 1808. This monumental drama, based on the medieval legend of a scholar who makes a pact with the devil, would occupy Goethe for much of his life. Faust explores themes of human striving, knowledge, power, and redemption, and is widely regarded as one of the greatest works of Western literature. Goethe also made contributions to the study of plant morphology and human anatomy. His concept of the earthly primordial plant posited that all plants derive from a single ideal form, a theory that anticipated later developments in evolutionary biology. In anatomy, he discovered the human intermaxillary bone, a structure that links humans more closely to other animals. Philosophically, Goethe was influenced by Spinoza's pantheism, which posited that God and nature are one. This belief in the unity of all things, along with his rejection of mechanistic views of the universe, colored his scientific and literary work alike. For Goethe, nature was not merely an object of study, but a living, dynamic force. Later years and the completion of Faust, 1810 to 1832, Goethe's later years were marked by a return to literary production and philosophical reflection. In 1816, he suffered a personal blow with the death of his wife, Christiane Vulpius, whom he had married in 1806 after a long relationship. Nonetheless, he remained active intellectually and continued writing prolifically. One of his major late works was Wilhelm Meister's Wanderjahre, Wilhelm Meister's Journeyman Years, 1821. The sequel to his earlier novel Wilhelm Meister's Lehrjahre, Wilhelm Meister's Apprenticeship, a novel of personal and intellectual development. The later work is more philosophical, reflecting Goethe's mature thoughts on life, society, and education. Goethe continued to work on the second part of Faust, which he completed shortly before his death. This second part is more allegorical and philosophical than the first, and it delves into themes of redemption, the pursuit of knowledge, and the eternal striving of humanity. It is a grand synthesis of Goethe's intellectual and artistic concerns, and is considered a masterwork of European literature. Goethe died on March 22, 1832, in Weimar at the age of 82. His last words are said to have been "Mehr Licht," more light, a fitting expression for a man whose life was devoted to the pursuit of knowledge, beauty, and truth. Legacy and influence. Goethe's influence on Western culture cannot be overstated. His literary works, particularly Faust, remain central to the canon of world literature. His ideas about individualism, the relationship between humanity and nature, and the interplay between reason and emotion continue to resonate today. In addition to his literary legacy, Goethe's scientific and philosophical contributions have been recognized for their originality and breadth. His work laid the foundation for Romantic science, a more holistic approach to understanding nature that contrasts with the mechanistic worldview of the Enlightenment. Goethe's contributions to art, philosophy, and science have made him a multifaceted figure who defies easy categorization, and his works continue to inspire scholars, artists, and thinkers across the world. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel